Do you feel like something's off? Like she doesn't respect you, doesn't value you, and you're just another option in her life? That feeling burns, doesn't it? But you're not crazy. You're not overthinking. What if I told you that you could flip the script? That instead of chasing her, you could make her chase you? That you could make her feel that gut-wrenching fear of losing you without ever lifting a finger? Stay here. Watch until the end, because this might just change your life. Type "I am the prize" in the comments right now if you're ready to reclaim your power. You see, most men give their power away without even realizing it. They don't mean to, but they do. They overinvest, overcare, and overcommit to women who don't deserve it, hoping to win their love and approval. But the hard truth is, women don't respect men who don't respect themselves. Women don't fear losing men who don't bring value to their lives. And that's where you come in. Because you're different. You're not like most men. You're here to learn, to grow, to become the kind of man she can't live without. The kind of man she chases. The kind of man who doesn't beg, doesn't plead, but stands firm, confident, and unshakable. The kind of man she knows she'll never replace. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to become that man. Let's get started. Number 1. Making her chase you. Most men live their entire lives chasing something that was never meant to be chased. You're told to woo her, win her, impress her, but where has that gotten you? Look at where you stand right now. Are you happy? Are you respected? Does she look at you like you're the only man she could ever want? Or does she treat you like an option? Deep down, you know the answer. You've felt it. The frustration, the exhaustion, the disappointment of always being the one who tries harder, gives more, loves deeper. You're not crazy. That pain you feel, that void, it's real. But it doesn't have to stay that way. The truth is, women were never meant to chase you. They were designed to choose you. But they won't choose a man who acts like he needs them more than they need him. They won't choose a man who doesn't make them feel something deep and primal. And they certainly won't chase a man who hands over his power like it's nothing. If you want her to chase you, to want you, to fear losing you, you need to stop chasing her altogether. Yes, stop. You've been conditioned to believe that the more effort you put into winning her, the more she'll appreciate you. But in reality, the more you chase her, the less she respects you. Chasing is what boys do. Men don't chase, men attract. You don't run after her. You build yourself into someone she can't help but notice. A man she can't help but want. A man she can't imagine losing. Let me tell you something about women. Their desire isn't logical. It's emotional. It's rooted in how you make them feel. They won't tell you this directly, but every woman is biologically wired to respond to strength, confidence, and dominance. Not dominance in the sense of controlling her, but in the sense of controlling yourself, your emotions, your decisions, your life. When you're always available, always there, always saying yes to her demands, you send a very clear message: I have nothing else going on in my life but you. And you know what that does? It kills attraction. It suffocates the mystery. She sees you as predictable, and predictability is poison to attraction. Think back to the moments when she seemed most drawn to you. Was it when you were waiting by the phone, desperate for her reply? Or was it when you were busy, focused, living your life, and she had to work a little harder to get your attention? The answer is obvious. Women want what they can't fully have. It's not because they're cruel or manipulative, it's because they're human. Scarcity creates value. When something is rare, it's precious. When something is abundant, it's disposable. And right now, you're making yourself abundant. You're too easy, too predictable, too available. If she knows you'll drop everything for her, if she knows you'll always be there no matter how she treats you, she won't chase you. She won't value you. She'll take you for granted. To make her chase you, you need to turn the tables. Stop being her constant. Become her challenge. Pull back. Create space. Make her wonder where you are, what you're doing, and who you're doing it with. Not out of malice, but out of self-respect. You need to have a life that's so full, so exciting, so purpose-driven that she has no choice but to fight for a spot in it. Do you think powerful men, men with vision, men on a mission, sit around wondering why she hasn't texted back? Of course not. They're too busy building, creating, achieving. And that's exactly what you need to do. Every time you chase her, you rob her of the chance to chase you. Every time you overinvest, you diminish your value in her eyes. Women respect men who respect themselves. When you prioritize your goals over her drama, your growth over her games, you send a powerful message. I don't need you, but I choose you. That's what makes her chase you. That's what makes her scared of losing you. Let's talk about emotional detachment. Most men fail here because they let their feelings for her cloud their judgment. They get jealous when she talks to other men, desperate when she pulls away, or angry when she tests their patience. And every time you react emotionally, you give her the upper hand. Women test men not to break them, but to see if they'll break. If you crumble under pressure, if you lose your composure, you're showing her that you're not the man she thought you were. She wants to see strength. She needs to feel that you're unshakable, that no matter what she does, you remain in control of yourself. Do you want her to chase you? Then show her what it means to be a man who doesn't need her approval to feel complete. Stop explaining yourself. Stop seeking her validation. Stop apologizing for being who you are. The moment you stop needing her is the moment she starts needing you. It's that simple. Women are naturally drawn to men who radiate confidence, who walk into a room and command respect without saying a word. And you can become that man. But it starts with letting go of the fear of losing her. Fear is your enemy. Fear makes you weak, clingy, reactive. It makes you overthink every interaction, overanalyze every text, and overcompensate for every little thing. But when you let go of that fear, when you fully embrace the idea that you're better off alone than with someone who doesn't value you, something incredible happens. You free yourself. You stop chasing. You stop giving your power away. And in doing so, you become the kind of man she can't ignore. Think about the most attractive men you know, the ones women seem to flock to effortlessly. What do they all have in common? It's not their looks, their money, or their status. It's their mindset. They know their worth. They don't chase. They don't beg. They don't compromise their values just to keep a woman around. And because of that, women chase them. They want to earn their attention, their approval, their love. That's what you need to aim for. It hurts, doesn't it, to realize you've been doing it all wrong, to see how much time you've wasted on women who didn't deserve you. But that pain is your wake-up call. Use it. Let it fuel you to become the man you were meant to be. A man who doesn't chase, but attracts. A man who doesn't beg, but commands respect. A man who doesn't fear losing her because he knows he'll be fine either way. Women can feel when you're desperate, just like they can feel when you're in control. The choice is yours. You can keep chasing, keep giving, keep losing, or you can flip the script, step into your power, and make her chase you. The world belongs to men who know their worth. Be that man. Number 2. The power of presence and absence. Every man wants to be remembered, to leave an impression that lingers long after he's gone. But most men fail to understand the power of their own presence, and more importantly, their absence. Presence and absence are two sides of the same coin, and when used wisely, they can change the way she sees you forever. Yet most men flood their presence into a woman's life until it becomes overwhelming, predictable, and dull. When you're always there, always accessible, always available, your presence loses its weight. It becomes normal. And once something becomes normal, it's no longer special. Women don't crave what's ordinary, they crave what feels rare and valuable. Think about it. When was the last time she truly missed you? When was the last time she stopped what she was doing to wonder about you, to think about where you were or why you weren't replying to her messages? If you can't remember, that's a problem, because when she doesn't feel your absence, she stops valuing your presence. Women are wired to notice what's missing. They're drawn to what feels just out of reach. And if you're always there, always within her grasp, you rob her of that longing, that curiosity, that emotional tension that makes her crave you. Absence creates space for desire to grow. It's like a spark that needs oxygen to turn into a flame. Without that space, without that breath of fresh air, the flame dies. But when you step back, when you create that distance, you give her something to miss. And that's when she starts to feel it. The quiet, the emptiness, the absence of your presence. It creeps into her mind, makes her wonder, makes her miss the way you made her feel when you were there. That longing, that ache, is what makes her realize just how much you matter. But here's the catch. You can't just disappear without purpose. Absence isn't about playing games or manipulating her emotions. It's about showing her that you have a life outside of her, that your world doesn't revolve around her. When you're always there, it sends a message, whether you realize it or not, that you have nothing better to do, that your time, your energy, your attention are hers for the taking. And once she knows that, once she feels like she owns you, she'll stop respecting you. Because women don't respect what comes too easily. When you pull back, when you create that space, it forces her to pay attention. It forces her to question her own value in your life. Is she worth the effort? Is she worth your time? And when she starts to ask those questions, when she starts to feel like she has to earn her place in your world, something shifts. That's when the balance of power tilts in your favor. Suddenly, she's the one wondering, she's the one chasing, she's the one trying to prove herself to you, and that's exactly where you want to be. Think about it like this: presence is your gift, but absence is your leverage. When you're present, you give her a taste of what it's like to have you in her life. Your confidence, your energy, your strength, it's intoxicating. But when you're absent, you remind her that she doesn't own you, that you're not hers to control, that your time is valuable, and she's lucky to have even a piece of it. This combination of presence and absence is what keeps her on her toes. It's what keeps her intrigued, invested, and emotionally hooked. But don't misunderstand. Absence doesn't mean cutting her off completely. It's not about playing hard to get or ignoring her for the sake of it. It's about balance. When you're too present, she feels smothered. When you're too absent, she feels abandoned. The key is to find the sweet spot, to give her just enough of your presence to keep her hooked, and just enough of your absence to keep her wanting more. It's a delicate dance, but once you master it, the results are undeniable. Women notice everything. They notice when your replies get slower. They notice when you don't answer every call. They notice when you stop asking about their day, or when you're suddenly too busy to hang out. And while they may not say it out loud, they feel it. They feel that shift in energy, that subtle pullback, and it triggers something deep inside them. It triggers their fear of losing you, and that fear is powerful. It's what keeps them invested, what makes them work harder to keep your attention, your affection, your presence. But here's where most men go wrong. They use absence as a weapon, as a way to punish her or make her feel guilty. That's not what this is about. Absence isn't about control. It's about self-respect. It's about showing her that your life is full, that your time is valuable, that you don't need her validation to feel complete. When you approach it from that mindset, it's not manipulative, it's empowering for both of you. Because when she sees that you're a man with purpose, a man who doesn't need her but chooses her, she'll respect you more, she'll value you more, she'll want you more. Women are emotional creatures. They don't just want a man who's there, they want a man who makes them feel, and nothing makes them feel more than the tension between presence and absence. It's that push and pull, that dance between closeness and distance, that keeps them engaged. It's what makes them crave you, what makes them fear losing you. But to create that tension, you need to be intentional. You need to know when to step forward and when to pull back, when to give and when to withhold, when to be present and when to let your absence speak for itself. And trust me, your absence will speak louder than any words ever could. It will remind her of your value, of what she stands to lose if she doesn't step up. It will make her realize that you're not like other men, that you're not always available, always easy, always there. It will make her see you as a man of substance, a man of depth, a man worth chasing. Absence isn't just about what you take away, it's about what you leave behind. The memories, the emotions, the impact of your presence. When you're gone, she should feel it. She should miss the way you made her laugh, the way you made her feel safe, the way you challenged her to be better. She should feel that void in her life and know that no one else can fill it. That's the power of absence. It makes her realize just how much you mean to her, just how much she needs you, and that's when she'll start chasing you, not because you forced her to, but because she wants to, because she can't imagine her life without you. So, stop being afraid of pulling back. Stop being afraid of creating space. Stop being afraid of making her miss you. Your presence is powerful, but your absence, that's what will make her see your true worth. Be the man who knows when to stay and when to walk away. Be the man who knows his value and refuses to settle for less. Be the man who understands the power of presence and absence. Because when you master that balance, you'll never have to chase her again. She'll be chasing you, always. Number 3, building irreplaceable value. Let's talk about the one thing that separates men who are chased from men who are ignored. Value. Not the kind of value you measure in dollars, cars, or flashy clothes. No, I'm talking about real value, the kind that can't be bought, only built. The kind that makes you irreplaceable in her eyes. Ask yourself right now, if she left you today, would she truly lose something she could never replace? Would she feel the loss of a man so rare, so unique, that no one else could fill that void? If the answer is no, it's time to change that. Because women don't fear losing a man who's ordinary. Women are biologically hardwired to seek value in men. It's not just a preference, it's instinct. They're drawn to men who stand out, men who elevate their lives, men who offer something no one else can. And if you're not bringing that to the table, why would she fear losing you? Why would she chase you? Women don't chase mediocrity. They don't lie awake at night thinking about the guy who's just like every other guy she's ever met. They obsess over the man who's different, the man who's irreplaceable. And that man can be you, but only if you're willing to do the work. Building value starts with one simple truth. No one is coming to save you. Not her, not society, not anyone. If you want to be a man of value, a man worth chasing, you have to build yourself from the ground up. That means taking a hard, honest look at your life. Are you physically strong, mentally sharp, emotionally stable, financially secure? If you're lacking in any of these areas, she will sense it. Women have an almost supernatural ability to pick up on weaknesses, even if you think you're hiding them. And once they see those cracks, they'll test you. Not because they're cruel, but because they want to know if you're the real deal. A man of value is a man who constantly evolves. He doesn't settle for good enough. He's always learning, always improving, always striving to be better than he was yesterday. This isn't about impressing her. It's about becoming the best version of yourself for you. Because when you're at your best, she'll feel it. She'll see it in the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you handle challenges. Confidence isn't something you fake. It's a natural byproduct of competence. When you know you're a man of value, it radiates from you like heat from the sun. And trust me, she'll feel that warmth. But let's get specific. How do you build value in a way that makes her see you as irreplaceable? Start with your body. Women are visual creatures, just like men. If you're out of shape, if you look like you don't care about yourself, why should she? Hit the gym, not just to look good, but to feel strong, to exude vitality. There's a primal attraction women feel towards a man who's physically capable. It's not just about aesthetics, it's about what your body signals: strength, discipline, protection. When she looks at you, she should see a man who can handle himself, who can handle her, who can handle life. Next, your mind. Women don't just want a man who looks good, they want a man who can challenge them, inspire them, lead them. Are you sharp? Are you informed? Are you constantly feeding your mind with knowledge that makes you more interesting, more capable, more valuable? If all you can talk about is sports scores or the latest Netflix series, you're not leaving an impression. Read books, learn skills, explore ideas. Be the man who opens her mind to new perspectives, who makes her think, who keeps her intellectually engaged. Women respect intelligence, they crave it. And if you can stimulate her mind, you've already set yourself apart from most men. Now let's talk about emotional strength. This is where most men fail. Women are emotional beings, but they don't want a man who's as emotionally unstable as they are. They want a rock, a foundation, a man who stays calm under pressure. When life gets tough, when she's spiraling, when the world feels chaotic, she wants to know that you won't crumble, that you'll stand tall, steady, unshaken. Emotional strength isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about mastering them. It's about knowing when to be vulnerable and when to stand firm. When she sees that you can handle your emotions, she'll trust you more. She'll respect you more. And respect is the foundation of attraction. Then there's your purpose. A man without a mission is a man without value. Women are drawn to men who are going somewhere, men who have a vision for their lives and the drive to make it a reality. What are you building? What are you working towards? If your life revolves around her, she'll lose interest. Women don't want to be the center of your universe. They want to be a part of it. They want to feel like they're joining a man on a journey, not becoming his entire world. So, find your purpose. Chase it relentlessly. When you're focused on your mission, when you're living with passion and direction, she'll be drawn to you like a moth to a flame. Finally, social value. Women notice how other people treat you. Are you respected by your peers? Are you admired by your friends? Are you the kind of man other men want to be and other women want to be with? If not, it's time to change that. Build a strong social circle. Surround yourself with people who elevate you, who push you to be better. And yes, include women in that circle, not as conquests, but as allies. When she sees you in a room full of women who respect you, admire you, and compete for your attention, it sends a powerful message. It tells her that you're a man of value, a man who has options, a man who doesn't need her, but chooses her. And that choice is what makes you irreplaceable. Building value isn't easy. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to face your weaknesses head-on. But the reward is worth it. When you become a man of value, a man of substance, a man who stands out in a world full of mediocrity, she won't just fear losing you, she'll do everything in her power to keep you. And not because you manipulated her, but because you became the kind of man she couldn't imagine living without. That's the power of building irreplaceable value. It's not about being better than other men. It's about being the best version of yourself. And when you do that, everything else falls into place. She'll chase you, respect you, value you, and most importantly, she'll never want to let you go. Number 4, setting boundaries. Boundaries are the foundation of respect, yet so many men fail to set them. They fear that by drawing lines, they'll lose her. But the truth is, a man without boundaries isn't respected. He's used. He's walked over, taken for granted, and eventually discarded. Women cannot love a man they do not respect, and they cannot respect a man who doesn't respect himself. If you want her to fear losing you, if you want her to value you, you must master the art of setting boundaries. Not harshly, not angrily, but with unwavering strength and grace. Women are drawn to strength, not just physical strength, but emotional and mental strength. The kind that shows her you're a man who stands firm in his values. If you let her dictate every aspect of the relationship, if you bend to her every whim, if you prioritize her happiness over your own self-respect, she will lose respect for you. Women are biologically wired to test men. It's not malicious, it's instinctive. She wants to see if you're the kind of man who can hold his ground. And if you fail those tests, if you crumble under the pressure of her demands, she will see you as weak. She may not say it out loud, but deep down, she'll feel it, and it will erode the foundation of your relationship. Boundaries aren't just about saying no, they're about defining who you are as a man. They're about knowing what you will and won't tolerate, what you stand for, and what you refuse to compromise on. When you set boundaries, you're telling her and the world that you value yourself, that you won't sacrifice your dignity, your time, or your energy for anyone who doesn't respect it. And trust me, women respect men who respect themselves. But here's where many men get it wrong. They think setting boundaries means being aggressive, confrontational, or controlling. It doesn't. A boundary isn't a fight, it's a standard. It's a calm, confident declaration of who you are and what you expect. When she crosses a line, you don't need to yell or argue. You simply let her know, firmly and clearly, that her behavior is unacceptable. You hold your ground without losing your cool. Because the moment you lose control, you lose power. And power is what makes boundaries effective. Imagine this. She cancels plans with you at the last minute, not because of an emergency, but because she just didn't feel like it. Most men would shrug it off, afraid to rock the boat, afraid to upset her. But a man with boundaries would calmly address it, not with anger, not with desperation, but with clarity. He'd let her know that his time is valuable and that he doesn't tolerate being disrespected. And he wouldn't just say it, he'd back it up with action. If she doesn't change her behavior, he steps back. He creates distance, because a man with boundaries doesn't stay in situations where he isn't valued. Women notice everything. They notice how you react when they test you. They notice if you let them interrupt you, if you let them flake on plans, if you let them disrespect you in subtle ways. And every time you let it slide, every time you allow it without addressing it, you're sending a message. My boundaries don't matter. My self-respect doesn't matter. And once she sees you don't value yourself, she won't value you either. Setting boundaries isn't just about teaching her how to treat you. It's about teaching her what kind of man you are. A man with boundaries is a man who knows his worth. He doesn't beg for respect. He commands it. He doesn't need to argue or plead. His actions speak louder than words. When you set boundaries, you create a dynamic where she has to step up to meet your standards. She has to work to earn your time, your attention, your commitment. And that work is what makes her value you. Women don't want a pushover. They don't want a man who agrees with everything they say, who lets them do whatever they want without consequence. They want a man who can hold his own, who can challenge them, who can make them feel like they're with someone who's in control of his life. When you set boundaries, you show her that you're not afraid to walk away if your standards aren't met. And that fear, that quiet, unspoken fear of losing you, is what keeps her invested. But boundaries aren't just for her, they're for you. They protect your time, your energy, your peace of mind. They ensure that you don't give more than you're getting, that you don't lose yourself in the relationship. A man without boundaries is a man who burns out, who feels drained, who ends up resenting the very woman he's trying to please. But a man with boundaries is a man who thrives, who feels respected, who maintains his sense of self no matter what. And here's the beauty of boundaries. They don't push her away, they pull her closer. When you set boundaries, you create tension, the good kind of tension, the kind that makes her want to be better, to do better, to meet your expectations. She doesn't see boundaries as a threat. She sees them as a challenge to rise to your level, to prove herself worthy of you. And that challenge is what keeps her engaged, keeps her attracted, keeps her chasing you. In modern relationships, boundaries are more important than ever. We live in a world where men are told to cater to women, to put their needs above their own, to sacrifice their standards in the name of being nice. But being nice doesn't make you respected. Being accommodating doesn't make you valuable. What makes you respected, what makes you valuable, is knowing who you are and standing by it. Women don't want nice. They want strong. They want decisive. They want a man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to demand it. When you set boundaries, you redefine the dynamic. You shift the power back to where it belongs, with you. She stops seeing you as someone she can manipulate, someone she can control, someone she can take for granted. Instead, She sees you as a man she can trust, a man she can rely on, a man who won't let her or anyone else walk all over him. And that trust, that respect, is what builds attraction. It's what makes her see you as irreplaceable. Boundaries aren't optional, they're essential. Without them, you lose yourself, you lose her respect, and eventually, you lose her. But when you set boundaries, with confidence, with grace, with strength, you gain everything. You gain her admiration, her loyalty, her desire. You gain a relationship built on mutual respect, not one-sided sacrifice. And most importantly, you gain yourself. Because at the end of the day, your boundaries aren't just about her, they're about you. About valuing yourself enough to demand the same from others. About being the kind of man who doesn't settle for less than he deserves. About being the kind of man who commands respect, not because he asks for it, but because he earns it. That's the power of boundaries. And when you master it, you'll never settle for anything less again. Number 5. Emotional mastery. Emotions are the silent killers of respect. The way you manage your emotions defines not only how she sees you, but how you see yourself. Most men let their emotions control them, and in doing so, they hand over their power, their value, and their self-respect. When you lose control of your emotions, you lose control of everything. And women, they notice it, they feel it. They may not say it out loud, but the moment you let your emotions spiral, you start to lose her respect. Emotional mastery is the cornerstone of being a man she can't afford to lose. Women are emotional by nature. They live in the realm of feelings, in the ebb and flow of emotional highs and lows. And while this is a beautiful part of their design, it also means they look to you for stability. When her emotions are swirling like a storm, she's searching for a rock, a foundation, a man who can remain calm no matter what. But when you react to her outbursts, when you let her mood dictate yours, when you crumble under her emotional tests, you're showing her that you're not the man she thought you were. You're showing her weakness. A woman's emotional world is like a test, and whether you realize it or not, you're taking that test every single day. She may pick a fight over something small. She may push your buttons just to see how you'll react. She may even create unnecessary drama. Not because she enjoys chaos, but because she wants to see if you can handle it. If you can stand firm, calm, and unshaken. And if you can't, if you let her emotions dictate your actions, you fail the test. And once you fail enough times, she stops respecting you. She stops seeing you as a man of strength, and once respect is gone, attraction follows. Emotional mastery isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about controlling them. It's about choosing how you respond instead of letting your emotions decide for you. When you react impulsively, whether it's out of anger, jealousy, or desperation, you're giving her power over you. And women don't want a man they can control. They want a man who controls himself. A man who, even in the heat of the moment, remains calm, composed, and decisive. Imagine this. She accuses you of not caring about her. She's emotional, her voice is raised, her words are cutting. Most men would jump to defend themselves, to argue, to prove their love and loyalty. But a man with emotional mastery does something different. He listens. He lets her vent. He doesn't interrupt, doesn't argue, doesn't take the bait. And when she's done, he calmly addresses the situation, not with emotion, but with clarity. That's power. That's control. That's what makes her see you as a man who's on another level. Women respect men who can handle their emotions because it shows strength. It shows maturity. It shows that you're not like other men who lose their temper at the slightest provocation or crumble under pressure. Emotional mastery makes you stand out. It makes you rare. And women chase what's rare. But here's the kicker. Mastering your emotions doesn't just benefit your relationship, it benefits every aspect of your life. When you control your emotions, you control your decisions. You make smarter choices, you handle conflict better, you approach challenges with a clear head. And that confidence, that calm, that unwavering composure, it's magnetic. It's the kind of energy that draws people in, that commands respect, that makes you a man worth following. And women feel it. They feel it in the way you talk, the way you move, the way you handle yourself in any situation. Now, let's talk about jealousy. Jealousy is one of the most destructive emotions a man can have. It's rooted in insecurity, in fear, in the belief that you're not enough. And when you let jealousy control you, it shows. It shows in the way you question her, the way you watch her, the way you try to control her. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man who's consumed by jealousy. Women want to feel free, not trapped. They want to feel trusted, not watched. And when you trust yourself, when you know you're the best she'll ever have, you have no reason to be jealous. Because you know deep down that if she ever leaves, it's her loss, not yours. Emotional mastery also means knowing when to walk away. Too many men stay in relationships that drain them, that disrespect them, that break them down. They stay because they're afraid of being alone, because they think they can't do better, because they've let their emotions convince them that they need her to be happy. But a man who masters his emotions knows his worth. He knows that his happiness doesn't depend on her, that his value isn't tied to her validation. And because of that, he's not afraid to leave. And when a woman sees that you're willing to walk away, that you're not afraid to lose her, it changes everything. That fear of losing you makes her value you even more. Women are drawn to men who are emotionally stable because it creates safety. When she's with you, she needs to feel like everything's going to be okay, that no matter what happens, you've got it under control. That's not just attractive, it's essential. Because if she feels like she has to take care of you emotionally, like she has to manage your moods, she won't see you as a partner. She'll see you as a burden. And no woman wants to be with a man who feels like a burden. But emotional mastery isn't something you achieve overnight. It's a skill, a practice, a discipline. It requires self-awareness, patience, and a commitment to growth. It requires you to face your fears, to confront your insecurities, to take responsibility for your actions. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Because when you master your emotions, you master your life. You become the kind of man who doesn't just survive, but thrives. The kind of man who doesn't just attract women, but commands their respect and admiration. Emotional mastery is about more than just staying calm in the moment. It's about building a foundation of confidence, resilience, and strength that no one can shake. It's about being the man who, no matter what life throws at him, stays grounded, stays focused, stays unshaken. And that's the kind of man she'll chase. That's the kind of man she'll fear losing. Because men like that are rare. Men like that are unforgettable. Men like that are irreplaceable. Be that man. Most men chase, beg, and settle. But you're here, listening, learning, transforming. You're here to become the kind of man women fear losing. A man who knows his worth, who stands firm in his power, who lives with purpose and confidence. Remember, women don't respect what they don't fear losing. And when you become irreplaceable, when you master your emotions, when you live life on your terms, that fear becomes real. Now, I want you to take action. If this video resonated with you, if you're ready to transform your life and your relationships, subscribe to this channel. Comment, "I'm taking control," if you're ready to take back your power. And share this video because there are men out there who need to hear this. Your support makes all the difference. Keep learning and keep becoming the man you were born to be. The man she'll never want to lose.